Hey guys, I wanted to share a little bit about the head of the year, Rosh HaShanah. Again, it's the beginning of newness, and when life begins to spring forth and light begins to overcome darkness. So, in the beginning, the Father created the lights in the heavens, the faithful luminaries above, for signs, seasons, in that order. Signs first, Rishon, first. Seasons, Modim, they have seasons and appointed times in which they function. And of course, days and years. And they are for, it's like a clock, and we're a part of it. Now, the world is celebrating a time when darkness and light are equated. And they're sadly celebrating a tail, or an end, if you would, a going out of the year, as the head or beginning of the year. Now, Enoch said that this would happen, and Enoch testified that these 4 cardinal days, which are called, referred to by many as marker days, would be improperly reckoned in the computation of the year, and that men would err according to them, and that the luminaries that establish these jurisdictions, courses, and boundaries indeed do faithful service, and that men are unfaithful in their testimony as to how they work. And so when we see the day of equal day, or the time of equal day and night, we know the Father divided light from the darkness in the beginning. He called the light day. It's of course good. And he called the darkness night. So, Chodesh. So, day is Yom. And he established these things, separating them, indeed, in the beginning and from the beginning. Now, he is the head of days. And so all days are connected to their head. On earth, we see a body. We have a body. We have a head. We have, beyond the veil, that is the flesh, one that is not seen, even a faithful witness in the heavens, the seed of David, the Son of Man, the head of the house, who will indeed fight for us at the head of our thousands, the head of days. He is the head of our days as we witness them on earth. He is not the head of days. He is not the Ancient of Days. He is the Son of Man, the seed of David, who sits at the right hand of power, and, of course, is the head of all men below on earth. So we see in the picture of the body, there are 2 eyes, indeed 2 witnesses that are visible to the outward, while the one mind's eye, the one head behind the veil of the flesh, is indeed not seen. So this is a picture of the body, and in order to behead a functional body, you're going to need to not understand these things. And so that's why we see a lot of beheading and whatnot, and we will see more of it, sadly, when al-Wahash gets to Jerusalem. Many will be beheaded because of their testimony of the seed of David, the Son of Man. Think it not odd that Judaism turns their back on the seed of David to the west, putting darkness for light and evil for good. And just recompense for that is, of course, the willful king of the north, who comes from the north. Now, they don't know it, neither can they, not understanding the path of light, in fact, turning their back to it, both daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly, as they put darkness for light. So they don't know that the king of the north is coming. North is this way, east is behind me, west is the direction I'm facing, and south is this way. This is the first Rishon quadrant. The south is the second, where the Most High descends. And, of course, he who is blessed forever, the righteous plant in the earth, to the south. And, of course, then there is the western quarter of diminution, where all luminaries wane and go down. And, of course, the north, which is the last of the 4 quarters of the earth. And today, one of the days, I'm talking to you about the head of days, Rosh Chodesh and Rosh HaShanah. And, of course, that's the head of the year, and the head of the first renewal if you will, or revolution of the luminaries above, which do give faithful testimony, and not the tail. That's what I started talking about. Sometimes I ramble. Just hope you can tolerate that. The head of the year, again, is not the tail of it. So if we repent and we turn from our sin, we will understand that the head of the year is when the light begins to wane, nature begins to respond, and life comes forth. The head of days, of course, the author of light, the creator of light, who is himself light and in whom there is no darkness. Why is this important now? Well, because darkness is about to descend upon the earth, and men will look to beings that are rebels from above. Even the Nachash, the serpent, the seraph Nachash. And these beings will claim to be light and the way, when indeed they are rebels. And men will face darkness, and they will say, light has come. You just watch it. Remember, I'm telling you first. And they will lie and say that they spawned from the ether. This is all from the Kabbalah, which is the word of Allah, of course, the Canaanite head of the Canaanite pantheon, and head of the other gods. That we aren't hashtag other gods, hashtag host of heaven, which Judaism will worship. Right after they worship the sun, moon, and stars in Jeremiah chapter 8, saying peace, peace, Shabbat shalom, while not knowing the times. That was a lot. If you choke on it, just chew it a little more slowly, then swallow it, and in doing so, choose life. So, this deception from above will be that of hashtag origins and hashtag existentialism. That we were created by beings from above who spawned from the primordial soup, the waters above. In fact, they left the waters, but they left their abode. They left their abode and came down and corrupted mankind by teaching us every manner of wickedness. And so the world will actually look to the deceivers, HaSatan, the adversaries, who taught us the adversary. There's the head of one. There's a head, and then of course there's other adversaries, messengers. We'll look to them as creators, when in fact they are deceivers, teaching us to turn away from our Father in heaven. The word turning, the word week, where we get our weekly observances, is in fact a turning away. The Father is not the author of the week. There is no creation week in Genesis. There are days and years that were created on the fourth day, not a week of slavery of 6 years followed by a day of rest. That came later. That is a result of bondage. Our Father did not create man to be a slave for 6 days, thereby needing a seventh, or a woman to be a handmaiden. So, do not look to the ones that created the 6 days of slavery, sin, for your rest. Folks, I cannot stress this enough. Your rest is coming from that direction, the east, even as the light waxes and does not wane, grows great and strong, and not the west. He comes from the east. That is where your rest comes from, not Jerusalem below. Indeed, Jerusalem above. So, again, I want that to be encouragement. Again, briefly summarizing, Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, is not the tail of it. It is not the end of the year. And the day when day and night are equal represents the end of a season. And it is signified by a sign first, season, then days and years. So the signs, lights in the heavens, luminaries, testifying of the proper order of days and years, happens first the sign, season, days, and years. Okay? So we look for the sign, like a sign is before an intersection. Then we have the intersection that of the days and years, the seasons. And, of course, that is in the proper order with Genesis, the creation account in day 4. On day 4, the light did not magically emerge from darkness. Just because you look up and you see mostly darkness, don't be a brute beast. It's a veil. It's a veil. Remember, you have a veil here. You have behind the veil of your flesh is the mind's eye. It is not visible to you presently. These are the two witnesses. Right here, eyes and mouth. Those are visible. Beyond the veil in the heavens is the head. Right? Wow, I'm even getting a little bit of a light show here. Praise the Father above, the Father of lights, in whom there is no darkness. Friends, come out of her, my people. Judaism, Islam, Jerusalem below. Christianity, wash your robes. Come out. Come out. Look to the east. The King is coming. From the east, and if they say he's in a hidden place, do not believe it. If he pops up in Damascus, do not believe it. It'll be laid waste, a ruinous heap. Soon you will see it, fulfilling my words for this generation and the words of those that came before.